All of the contestants preparing for tonight's show have connections with the music business. At stake is a prize fund of up to £50,000 for charity, but only one of them can take the money away. The rest will leave empty-handed as one by one they're voted off as the weakest link.
Welcome to the weakest link. The 9 contestants in the studio tonight are, or have been, connected to the music industry. They're here to try to win up to £50,000 for charity. But if they want that prize money, they'll have to work as a team. However, 8 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
I'm Dave Lee Travis. I'm 56 years old. I am a television and radio presenter, and I'm looking for a new gig and a large drink.
I'm Leslie Garrett. I'm 46. I'm a classically trained opera singer with my own TV series, but my best productions are my 2 children.
I'm DJ Spoonie. I'm 31 and 1/3 of Radio 1's Dream Team. And yes, I am nervous.
Susie Quattro, I'm 51, rock and roll singer, musician, actress, and TV and radio presenter.
I'm Shola, 22, singer-songwriter.
I'm Paul Rees, I'm 34, and I'm the editor of Kerrang, the world's biggest selling weekly music magazine.
I'm Carol Decker, I'm 44, and best remembered for being the lead singer with rock band Tapao, and now I'm a solo singer, songwriter, and actor.
I'm Mark Rodel, I'm 34, and I'm a director at Ministry of Sound.
I'm Billy Bragg, I'm 44, and just in case this is my only chance, hello, Mum.
Now, the rules in each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £5,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say the word bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from scratch. Remember, team, at the end of the round, only money that's been banked can be taken forward. The first round lasts for 3 minutes. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Billy. Let's play the weakest link. The first question is for £100. Start the clock. Billy, which everyday article comes in 2 formats, known as tabloid and broadsheet?
Newspaper.
Correct. DLT, in biology, in which part of the body is the Achilles tendon, the heel or the knee?
The heel.
Correct. Leslie, in music, a hit record that was first issued years ago but that has remained popular is known as a golden what?
Oldie.
Correct. DJ Spoonie, how many hours are there in total in one solar day?
24.
Correct. Susie, in language, what A means anywhere foreign?
Abroad.
Correct. Shola, in the cartoon strip Peanuts, created by Charles Schulz, what type of animal is the character Snoopy?
Dog.
Correct. Paul, a common phrase meaning retaliation is tit for what?
Tat.
Correct. Carol, in decorating, which type of paint produces a shiny finish, matte or gloss?
Gloss.
Correct. Mark,
Bank.
in food, Parmesan cheese originated from which European country?
Italy.
Correct. Billy, in sport, the biathlon event includes how many individual disciplines?
5.
2. DLT, in accommodation, what F is another name for an apartment?
Flat.
Correct. Leslie, in pop music, which Irish boy band had a 2001 UK #1 single with Queen of My Heart?
Westlife.
Correct. DJ Spoonie, what was the name of the royal yacht that was built in Glasgow and launched in 1953?
Queen Elizabeth II.
Britannia.
Bank.
Susie, the 2001 film starring Owen Wilson and Gene Hackman as US Navy officers is called Behind Enemy what?
Lines.
Correct. Shola, the British designer and entrepreneur who owns several London restaurants, including Mezzo and Quaglino's, is Sir Terence who?
Dunno.
No, Conran. Paul, in January 2002, which member of the pop group Hearsay left after an alleged rift with her bandmates?
Kim.
Correct. Carol, What B is a four-letter word meaning an open receptacle used for holding food and liquids, which is usually circular and deeper than a plate?
Bowl.
Correct, Mark. In maths, what is 1/4 of 44?
11.
Correct, Billy. In geography, the Welland Canal was built in Canada to bypass which major waterfall?
Niagara Falls.
Correct.
Bank.
DLT in entertainment. Which first name links the ex-wife of Prince Andrew and the lead actress in Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Ferguson. Fergie.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Leslie, in food, what is Bombay duck, fish or fowl?
Fish.
Correct. DJ Spoonie, in pop music, the complete name of the Liverpudlian band is Echo and the what?
Bunnymen.
Correct, Susie.
Bank.
In the popular saying, something easy to accomplish is said to be like taking candy from a what?
Baby.
Correct, Shola. The yachtswoman who opened the London Boat Show at Earl's Court in January 2002 was Ellen who?
Don't know.
No, MacArthur. Paul, in gambling, what O is the name for the ratio of the sum the punter stands to win to the sum wagered?
Odds.
Correct, Carol. Time's up. And out of a possible £5,000 in that first round, you banked just 3,250. Who broke the chains? Who panic banked? It's time to vote on the weakest link.
With the most wrong answers, the statistics show that Shola is the first weakest link. Susie is the strongest link. But at this early stage in the game, will the team notice that?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Shola.
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 DLT.
Shola.
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 Leslie, remind me, what do you do? So you scream for a living, do you?
Only if I'm paid.
Why Shola?
She's a very, very bright girl, but I think her nerves got the better of her.
Younger than you, of course.
Considerably. And you too, Anne.
So, DLT, are you really only 56?
Do I look older than 56?
You do, I'm afraid, yes.
Wow. No, I am 56. Or did I get that the wrong way round? I'm not sure.
Do you think maybe the suit is a bit of a handicap?
Having looked at what my fellow artists are wearing, it is definitely a handicap, and I think I'll probably get voted off because I'm wearing a suit, yes. Yeah.
Why Shola?
I think because we are all nervous and we're all suddenly finding out what it's like being in the studio live, and Shola
Just
seemed
get
to
on
answer-
with it, DLT.
She's crap.
So, DJ Spoonie, if they listen to you on the radio, they don't know you're bald, do they?
I think they do. We tell them.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're 1/3 of the dream team.
1/3.
1/3 of the brain.
Yeah.
Why have you got a necklace on?
It's just jewellery.
That's jewellery?
Yeah.
Looks like your bicycle chain.
They don't make them the way they used to when you was riding bikes, then.
Why Shola? Try and think quickly. This isn't radio.
I really was going to vote for Billy.
Why?
Well, the question about the whatever it was, how many biathlon events, was a bad one to get wrong, but Shola got a couple wrong.
Statistically, she was the worst player. Even worse than the old man in the suit. Spectacularly, Shola, with 8 votes, unanimously. You are the weakest link. Bye.
Everybody I know said to me, please try your best not to be voted off first, but, you know, such is life. And now I get to relax and not have to worry about Anne picking on me. I think Spoonie will be off next. I don't know, actually. I think he should be off next because he promised he had my back and he didn't. He voted for me.
Round 2, team. So far, you've banked £3,250 out of a possible 5,000. You're down to 8 players. We are now taking 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Susie. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Susie, in music, by what name is the annual BBC series of promenade concerts held at the Royal Albert Hall popularly known?
The Proms.
Correct, Paul. In February 2002, which ex-footballer and TV host appeared in the BBC documentary Surviving the Kalahari?
Ian Wright.
Correct, Carol.
Bank.
The prison built in Victorian times in the London borough of Hammersmith is called Wormwood what?
Scrubs.
Correct, Mark. Which surname links a top American TV host known as Johnny and a Scottish former jockey called Willie?
Carson.
Correct, Billy. In history, the 1919 Treaty of Versailles was based on the 14 points drawn up by which leader, David Lloyd George or Woodrow Wilson?
Woodrow Wilson.
Correct. DLT. When you are talking about things indirectly, you are said to be beating around the what?
Bush.
Correct, Leslie. In entertainment, the music hall song made famous by Harry Champion was called Any Old What?
Iron.
Correct. DJ Spoonie. In politics, who succeeded John Major as leader of the Conservative Party?
Ian Duncan Smith.
William Hague. Susie. In science, what R is the name of the wireless system of communication using electromagnetic waves?
Radio.
Correct, Paul. In TV, which BBC sitcom featured Caroline Quentin as a therapist busy dealing with other people's problems?
Harry Crumb.
No, Kiss Me Kate. Carol. In pop music, in 2001, how many different singles reached #1 in the UK charts? 8 or 30?
30.
Correct, Mark.
Bank.
In geography, in which continent is the Nubian Desert?
Asia.
Africa. Billy, in agriculture, what P is the general term for chemicals used to destroy plants and animals that interfere with production?
Pesticide.
Correct. DLT, which 4-letter word meaning the opposite of difficult is also the name of a type of chair?
Easy.
Correct, Leslie.
Bank.
In London, on which side of the River Thames is the Old Vic Theatre, north or south?
South.
Correct, DJ Spoonie. Which letter of the alphabet, followed by the word square, gives the name of an implement used by draftsmen?
T.
Correct, Susie. Which American hero who died in 1836 is often depicted wearing a hat with a raccoon tail hanging from the back?
Davy Crockett.
Correct, Paul.
Bank.
At the 2002 Super Bowl in New Orleans, which Irish group was chosen to lead the halftime entertainment?
U2.
Correct, Carol. In food and drink, what is the French word for water?
Low.
Correct, Mark. In TV, the 2002 BBC series in which members of the public are advised to clear out their clutter is entitled The Life What?
Don't know.
Laundry. Billy, in language, which letter is silent in the words gnarled, gnat and gnome?
G.
Correct. DLT, in finance, what B is the name for someone who is employed to buy and sell stocks and shares?
B. What B? A buyer.
Broker. Leslie. Time's up and you have now gone completely down the drain. Out of a possible £5,000, the so-called brains on the podium managed just 1,200. Who is anything but easy listening? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
According to the statistics, Mark is the weakest link because he gave the most wrong answers. Carol is the strongest link, but will the voting reflect reality?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
DJ Spoonie.
Paul.
Dave Lee Travis.
Spoonie.
DLT.
Paul.
Spoonie.
Spoonie.
Billy, what are you famous for? You had any hits?
No, no.
Where'd you come from?
Barking.
Essex boy.
Yes, ma'am.
Very fond of your roots.
Oh, yeah, I am, yeah.
I suppose you still live in Essex.
No, no, I have a very nice house by the ocean in
Oh,
Dorset.
there they all go the same, don't they? Why DJ Spoonie?
We had about 1,500 up there, and he should have banked and he didn't, and he got it wrong.
Susie Quattro.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it about time you retired?
Absolutely not. I'm just getting into my second wind. Absolutely.
You've been around an awfully long time.
Very long. I started at 14. I've been in the business my entire life and
How
thoroughly
old?
enjoying it.
How old did you claim to be?
I am 51 and very proud.
Why Spoonie?
I was begging him to bank because it was really right up there. The main thing is to get as much money for charity, and unfortunately you didn't. You got your question wrong. Sorry.
How many facelifts have you had?
None. If I had any, I would be perfect. I am not. Sorry.
Mark. Who'd you work for?
Ministry of Sound.
For people who might not know what that is, what is it?
It is a very loud club and a record label.
For young people?
Certainly, yes.
So what are you doing there?
I stay well in the background.
Have you shaved today?
It's not cool to shave out.
It's not cool to shave. How would you know?
Dave Lee Travis.
Why Spoonie?
Because
He's young.
there's only room for one bald person on this show, Anne.
Spoonie, you can go home to your mother or back in the cutlery drawer. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I feel a bit sick, a bit gutted, because I thought I could have definitely raised some money for my charity for Body and Soul. They could do it some money. I might have to go in my own pocket and give it to them now. I think I'd like to see Billy off next, because I think Billy voted for me, and then Mark looked over Billy's shoulder, and he voted for me as well. So I'm going to say Billy instigated my downfall.
Round 3, team. So far, you've banked £4,450. We're taking another 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Carol. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Carol, in the animal kingdom, elephants are indigenous to Africa and which other continent?
India.
Asia. Mark, which sport did West Indian-born Garfield Sobers play at professional level?
Cricket.
Correct. Billy. In food, which word for an uncovered pie also means sharp or acid when applied to taste?
Tart.
Correct. DLT. Which city in Massachusetts shares its name with a market town in Lincolnshire?
Boston.
Correct. Leslie. In the human body, what A is a hormone that can increase heart rate, raise blood pressure and cause the release of sugar into the blood?
Adrenaline.
Correct. Susie.
Bank.
In clothing, the front of a woman's dress might be described as having a plunging what?
Neckline.
Correct. Paul. In classical music, what was the first name of the British composer whose surname was Elgar?
Edmund.
Edward. Carol. In nature, where do truffles grow, underground or on trees?
Underground.
Correct. Mark. In geography, Lake Bala is the largest natural lake in which country, the UK?
Wales.
Correct. Billy. What was the nationality of the actress Greta Garbo, Swedish or Austrian?
Swedish.
Correct.
Bank.
DLT. Which Radio 4 programme celebrated its 60th anniversary in January 2002? Is that an answer?
Today.
Desert Island Discs. Leslie. In TV, which actor starred in both The Likely Lads and Only When I Laugh?
Pass.
James Bolam. Susie. In mathematics, what Q is the word for a two-dimensional figure with 4 sides?
Quadrant.
No, quadrilateral. Paul. In pop music, the singer Aaliyah had a posthumous UK #1 single in 2002 with more than a what?
Feeling.
Woman. Carol. In cookery, MSG is the abbreviated term for monosodium what?
Glutamate.
Correct. Mark. In the Falklands conflict, the fleet that set sail on the 5th of April 1982 was always known as the Task what?
Pass.
Horse. Billy. In language, what T is the name for a narrow strip of leather used as a lace cord or strap?
Toggle.
Thong. DLT. In theatre, which 1980s pop star wrote the music for the West End production Taboo that opened in January 2002?
Boy George.
Correct. Leslie.
Bank.
In football, the 2 professional clubs in Bristol are Bristol City and Bristol what?
Rovers.
Correct. Susie. In the USA, what was the name of the airship that exploded in New Jersey in 1937?
The Heidelberg.
No, the Hindenburg. Paul. In music, if a dot is written after a note, its time value is made what? Longer or shorter?
Shorter.
Longer. Carol. Time's up, and in that round, you banked just £1,600. It was a melody short of a musical. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
With no correct answers, Paul is the weakest link statistically. DLT is the strongest link. But who will lose out in the vote?
Voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Paul.
Paul.
DLT.
Leslie.
Mark.
Paul.
Paul.
So do you just want to explain the suit to people?
You've got a thing about this suit.
Well, the tie's not much either, actually.
Well, I just thought I'll try and dress smartly for you.
Why Paul?
Probably because he's not wearing a suit, Anne.
So, Leslie, has Paul ever featured you in his magazine?
Don't think so.
Is that why you voted for him twice?
No, I just don't like orange.
Well, Paul, statistically, you were the worst player. It's quite disappointing that you don't know a long note from a short note. You are the weakest link. Don't answer me back. Goodbye.
I feel strangely elated being voted off because I think I deserve it, but given that I work for a music magazine and managed to get 3 questions on music completely wrong, it's a dreadful performance. I sincerely hope that DLT is the one off next because he did actually christen himself the Hairy Cornflake, and that's a crime for which he should be made to pay time and time again.
Round 4, team. You have in the kitty £6,050. You're down to 6 players. You've still got Susie, who says she hasn't had a facelift. And you've got Carol, who sadly couldn't this evening afford a strapless bra. We are taking another 10 seconds off your time. You now have only 2.5 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. Astonishingly, that's DLT. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. DLT in world geography is situated on the river Hooghly. Which Indian city is the capital of West Bengal?
No, I'm sorry, I can't.
Calcutta. Leslie. In theatre, what P is a popular British entertainment aimed primarily at children, which traditionally takes place during the Christmas holidays?
Pantomime.
Correct. Susie. The Radio 2 show billed as Music Waffle and the occasional insult is hosted by Jonathan who?
Ross.
Correct. Carol.
Bank.
In shotgun shooting, what is the device used to project a clay pigeon into the air, the trap or the coil?
Trap.
Correct. Mark. In travel, John F. Kennedy International Airport is built on which island in New York?
Manhattan.
Long Island. Billy. In politics, the electoral franchise is the right to do what?
Vote.
Correct. DLT. In history, what W is the name of the cathedral city in southern England, which was the capital of ancient Wessex?
Westminster.
Winchester. Leslie, in February 2002, which West London football club agreed to share its ground with Fulham while building work takes place at Craven Cottage?
Chelsea.
Queen's Park Rangers. Susie, in music, what D is another word for a gramophone record?
Disc.
Correct. Carol. In geography, in which county is Alnwick Castle situated?
Perthshire.
Northumberland. Mark. What J is the name for the broadcasting or gathering and writing of news?
Journalist.
No journalism. Billy. In TV, which long-running Saturday programme featuring a variety of sports is regularly presented by Steve Ryder?
Grandstand.
Correct. DLT. In literature, a hagiographer writes about which kind of people, saints or sinners?
Hagiographer. I think sinners.
No saints. Leslie. In TV since 1996, on which day of the week have new editions of Top of the Pops first been broadcast?
Tuesday.
Friday. Susie. In tennis, how many times did Steffi Graf win the women's singles title at Wimbledon? 4 or 7?
4.
7. Carol. In religion, which prestigious title has been held by Lanfranc, Thomas Cranmer and William Laud, among others?
Archbishop of Canterbury.
Correct. Mark.
Bank.
What is the total number of letter slates in a brand new English language Scrabble set? Correct answer is 100. That was extremely tragic. You managed the magnificent sum of £350. Who's not so much toe tapping as toe curling? Who was playing at the wrong speed? Who is about to go solo? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
In a reversal of fortune, DLT is now the weakest link. The statistics show that Billy is the strongest link, as he got all his answers right. But what will the other players consider when casting their votes?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Carol.
Mark.
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 DLT.
DLT.
Carol, where have you been since the 80s?
I've been in a home for demented ex-pop stars. No, I've been having a family. I have a little girl and another one coming.
Does that take you the whole of the 90s?
Yes, yeah. It took me a long time to get around to it, yeah.
Where are you from originally?
Liverpool, Huyton.
From Huyton?
Yeah.
You don't sound as if you're from Liverpool. Did
No.
you get rid of the accent?
Neither do you.
Why Mark?
I think he got more questions wrong than anybody else.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, what's the real colour of your hair?
Red. It's very red. It's the lighting. I could undo my pants and prove that I'm still...
That's the trouble with girls from Huyton. Susie, where do you live?
I live in Essex. I'm from Detroit.
You live in Essex?
I do.
Barking?
Not yet.
Why Mark?
Because I thought he had the most wrong.
Yes, Mark. Nice but dim. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
That big hairy monster Dave Lee Travers should be standing here, not me. Anne Robinson, she may have kicked me out of her show, but I'll tell you something, she arrives at the gates of Ministry of Sound. She's not coming anywhere near the place. She's first out the queue.
Round 5, team. You have in the kitty £6,400. You're down to 5 players. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Billy. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Billy, in history, what was the first name of the French general and President de Gaulle?
Charles.
Correct. DLT in cinema, Francis Ford Coppola has directed how many Godfather films, 3 or 6?
3.
Correct, Leslie.
Bank.
In music, Richard Clayderman found fame playing which keyboard instrument?
Piano.
Correct. Susie. In the Christian calendar, All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day fall in which month?
April.
November. Carol.
Bank.
In sport, the 2002 Winter Olympics were held in which US state?
Salt Lake City.
Utah.
Utah.
Billy. The moisturiser usually sold in stick form or in a small pot and used on the lips to relieve chapping and dryness is known as what?
Lip salve.
Lip balm, but I'll accept lip salve.
Thank you, miss.
DLT, what R is the name for a rapid transformation of a political system or regime through a concentrated process?
Reformation?
Revolution. Leslie, in pop music, how is the rapper nicknamed Ladies Love Cool James better known?
Neil Sedaka.
No, LL Cool J. Susie, in families, what relation is the brother of your niece to you?
My uncle.
Nephew. Carol. In entertainment, which royal ballet prima ballerina had a daughter called Phoebe in 2001 with husband Angus Forbes?
Darcy Bussell.
Correct, Billy. In money, what is the currency of South Africa?
The Rand.
Correct. DLT. In history, what is the name of the Scottish city that was destroyed by the English in 1544?
Edinburgh.
Correct. Leslie. Which current TV sports presenter narrowly failed to beat the England football goal-scoring record set by Bobby Charlton?
Lineker.
Correct. Susie. In literature, Amy Tan wrote the 1989 novel The Joy Luck what?
I don't know.
Club. Carol. In language, what word could come before sailing, clothes and chocolate to make 3 well-known phrases?
Dark.
Plain. Billy, in TV, who presented the music show Jukebox Jury from 1959 to 1967?
David Jacobs.
Correct. DLT, in Italy, which city is the capital of Tuscany?
Turin.
Time's up. The correct answer is Florence, and you only banked £750. Who would be better off performing in the shower? who sadly is making a song and dance about nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
As the only player to answer all his questions correctly, Billy remains the strongest link. Susie is the weakest link as she got all her answers wrong. Can she survive the vote?
Voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Carol.
Carol.
DLT.
DLT.
Carol.
So, Billy, what's your house like in Dorset?
It used to be a guest house, a seaside guest house.
What's it worth?
£310,000.
Oh, not much then.
No.
Why Carol?
Because she's got ginger hair and I've suddenly taken a dislike to people with ginger hair.
DLT. Go on then, boast about your house.
I've got a prefab in Buckinghamshire, and before you ask, it's worth about 14 grand.
Why Carol?
We all did things that were wrong, and I just sort of went for Carol.
OK, well, statistically in that round, Susie was the worst player. It's votes that count. Carol, the 80s revival isn't happening here. With 3 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I think I took an enormous risk coming on the show at 4 months pregnant, because if my baby ever hears Annie's voice again on the TV or radio, it will be traumatised because it has heard her shouting at me.
Round 6, team. And out of a possible £25,000, you have currently banked £7,150. You're down to 4 players. We are cutting another 10 seconds from your time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Billy. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Billy, in rugby, what's the name of the move in which the player in possession of the ball is brought to the ground by an opponent?
Tackle.
Correct. DLT, on the 1st of January 2002, the euro replaced the punt as the everyday currency of which European country?
Ireland.
Correct, Leslie. In politics, what G is the practice of dividing an area into new electoral districts in order to give one party an unfair advantage?
Geographical reallocation.
Gerrymandering. Susie, in the USA, which river is spanned by the Greater New Orleans Bridge in Louisiana?
The Mississippi.
Correct. Billy, in music, when referring to recorded music formats, the abbreviation LP stands for what?
Long player.
Correct. DLT, according to tradition, a portion of which food served at a marriage ceremony is kept for the christening of the first child of the union?
Cake.
Correct. Leslie.
Bank.
Anthony Gormley and Dame Elizabeth Frink are most associated with which branch of the arts, ballet or sculpture?
Sculpture.
Correct, Susie. In the 2000 film Bedazzled, Liz Hurley played the part of which evil character?
The devil.
Correct. Billy, in football, which Premiership club from the north of England is supported by Cilla Black, Mel C and Stan Boardman?
Liverpool.
Correct.
Bank.
DLT, in the Bible, the walls of which city famously tumbled down at the sound of trumpets?
Jericho.
Correct, Leslie. In pop music, Scottish singer Shirley Manson is the lead vocalist of which group?
The Swinging Bagpipes.
Garbage. Susie,
Bank.
in geography, the Egyptian city of Cairo stands on the east bank of which river?
The Nile.
Correct. Billy, in media, what are Decca and Blue Note, record labels or film studios?
Record labels.
Correct. DLT, in maths, what is 1/4 of 32?
8.
Correct. Leslie.
Bank.
In popular parlance, the 2 names which refer to an idealised old couple living in marital harmony are Darby and who?
Joan.
Correct. Susie, in the 1983 film Terms of Endearment, which actor starred opposite Shirley MacLaine as her amorous next-door neighbour?
Jack Nicholson.
Time's up. Jack Nicholson is the correct answer, and you are in time. And in that round, you banked £1,750. But who's the 2 hairy cornflake in the monkey suit? Who's rocking and reeling and falling down? Who's a silly Billy? Who's a dippy diva? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The statistics show that DLT is the strongest link. Leslie is the weakest link, as she gave the most wrong answers. But who will the team want off?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Susie.
DLT.
DLT.
Leslie.
Susie, why DLT?
Because we're all getting to that stage now, and I thought he was the weakest link on that one. I didn't do bad on that round, but nothing against you, DLT. Love you to bits.
You voted for him 3 times.
I know. That's how much I love him. That is true love. I'm giving him so much attention.
Statistically, he wasn't the worst player in the last round. Was he, Leslie?
Yes, no, it was me. It's my worst round. I had a bad round.
Were you not concentrating?
Yeah, I was actually. Still got them wrong.
Why DLT?
He's gasping for a cup of tea. I know.
You're not playing tactically and getting rid of rivals?
No, I don't think so.
Well, DLT, you can go off and make a date with your tailor. We are taking you off the playlist. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I really need to get this suit off because I'm feeling that I've fallen out of love with it now. I think I'd probably vote off Billy. There's something rather intriguing about the girls getting their claws out. Just to see both the girls and Anne all at it in the final burst of energy would be heaven.
Round 7. And out of a possible £30,000, you have so far won 8,900. You're down to 3 players. The diva, the rocker, and the man from the guest house in Dorset. You voted off the strongest link from the last round. So we'll start with the second strongest. That's Billy. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Billy, a senior diplomatic representative sent by one Commonwealth country to another instead of an ambassador is called a high what?
Commissioner.
Correct. Leslie, in the song which contains the line doe a deer, a female deer, which note is represented by a drop of golden sun?
Ray.
Correct. Susie.
Bank.
In language, the Latin phrase id est is more commonly denoted by which 2 letters?
INS?
I-E. Billy, in the TV cartoon The Flintstones, which character was married to Barney Rubble?
Betty.
Correct. Leslie. In biology, when you straighten your arms, what do your bicep muscles do? Relax or contract?
Relax.
Correct. Susie. In history, the 4 ladies in waiting of Mary, Queen of Scots, all shared which first name?
Elizabeth?
Mary. Billy. In maths, what is 1/2 of 52?
26.
Correct. Leslie. In music, the famous jazz and blues diva who shared her stage name with a major US city was Dinah who?
Ross.
Washington.
Oh.
Susie, in 10-pin bowling, how many pins do you have to knock down in one go to get a strike?
10.
Correct. Billy, which literary prize did Winston Churchill win in 1953?
Nobel Prize for Literature.
Correct. Leslie, according to the common expression, someone who is hard and resilient is tough as which antiquated items of footwear?
Old boots.
Correct. Susie, in Scotland, the coast-to-coast valley running from Inverness to Fort William is called the Great what?
Gulf?
Glen. Billy, in food, which pulse forms the main ingredient of the Middle Eastern dish falafel?
Chickpeas.
Correct. Leslie, in pop music, which singer had UK hit singles in the 1980s with the songs Nikita, I'm Still Standing, and Sad Songs Say So Much?
Cliff Richard.
Elton John. Susie, in the 1977... Time's up! And a very disappointing £500. Now, in round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank. So in the next round, potentially, there's £15,000 to be won. The question is, who are you going to hang on to? Who are you going to get rid of? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
At this crucial stage of the game, Billy is the strongest link, as he answered all his questions correctly. Susie is the weakest link because she gave the most wrong answers. But who will be taking the final walk of shame?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Billy.
Leslie?
Leslie.
Billy, why have you voted for Leslie?
Because she got the most questions wrong, I'm afraid.
She didn't.
By the time you get to Susie, I'm so nervous there, I'm not really paying attention anymore.
Do you not like Leslie?
No, I do like her, actually. I do like her.
That's not what
very
you
much.
said backstage.
What I said backstage was, if that bitch votes for me, she's out.
Oh, Susie.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you think Leslie was the weakest link?
No, I think it was me, and I can't believe that I'm down to the last three. I really can't. I'm still here. I mean, I'd had some good rounds.
Well,
but
we
I had
can't
some...
believe you haven't had a
I know.
facelift. There's all sorts of... So why did you vote for Leslie?
I wasn't really sure. I mean, I know Billy's been doing quite good, so can't do me, had to do you, so I'm sorry.
Well, Leslie, no curtain call here. With 2 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye!
Anne Robinson is no day at the beach, I can tell you. She's a formidable woman. I think she compares with any diva I've ever met in my life. I tell you, if I was casting her in an opera, she would have to be Lady Macbeth.
Round 8, and out of a possible £35,000, you have banked so far £9,400. Susie and Billy, 2 of you left and you have 90 seconds. But whatever you win in this round will be trebled, so £15,000 potentially can be won. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Billy. Let's play the weakest link. Start top. Billy, in TV, which comedienne explored the USA in her 1999 series American Pie?
Ruby Wax.
Correct.
Bang.
Susie, in food and drink, Asti Spumante is a sparkling variety of which alcoholic drink?
Champagne.
No wine. Billy, in World War I, the ruler of which country was nicknamed Kaiser Bill?
Germany.
Correct. Susie, in pop music, Diamond Lights was a 1987 UK hit single for the 2 footballers with rhyming surnames, Chris Waddle and who?
I don't know.
Glenn Hoddle. Billy, in the 1995 film The Usual Suspects, which actor played the character Verbal Kint?
Kevin Spacey.
Correct. Susie, in politics, a gynocracy is defined as a government containing only whom?
The governor?
Women. Billy, on a car, what is the American word for what in the UK is called the windscreen?
Windshield.
Correct. Susie, in pop music, Bob Geldof sang the UK #1 single I Don't Like Mondays with which group?
Boomtown Rats.
Correct. Billy, in literature, the Manchester factory owner who completed and edited Das Kapital with Karl Marx was Friedrich who?
Engels.
Correct.
Bang.
Susie, in personal grooming, the short sticks with fibre around both ends used for applying makeup are known as cotton what?
Buds.
Correct. Billy, what was the name of the first American nuclear-powered submarine?
The Nautilus.
I'll accept.
Bang.
Susie, in music, if the members of a choir all... Time's up. I can't complete the question. And between you in that round, you banked £800. We'll treble 800 and add it to the winnings from the previous rounds. That means prize money tonight of £11,800. But of course, only one of you can take that money away. So now you'll play against each other head to head. I'll ask alternating questions, best of 5. Whoever answers the most questions correctly wins. So Susie and Billy, for £11,800, let's play the weakest link. Billy, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'd like to go first, please, Anne.
Billy, in ancient history, which Greek philosopher founded the Academy in Athens?
Plato.
That is the correct answer. Susie, in finance, a tax first imposed in 1696 was payable by householders on which architectural feature?
Their houses?
No, the correct answer is windows. Billy, in Britain, the Senior Order of Knighthood founded by King Edward III is named after which item of clothing?
The Garter.
That is the correct answer. Susie, The football team of which African country, who are opponents of England in the 2002 World Cup, are nicknamed the Super Eagles?
Nairobi?
No, the correct answer is Nigeria. Billy, the name of which pasta is a direct translation from the Italian for large tubes?
Linguine.
No, the correct answer is cannelloni. Susie, in the animal kingdom, which US state has the largest population of grizzly bears?
California?
No, the correct answer is Alaska. Billy, if you answer this question correctly, you have won. So for £11,800. Which film starring Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor won a Golden Globe Award in January 2002 for Best Film, Musical or Comedy?
Moulin Rouge.
That is the correct answer. That means, Billy, you are tonight's strongest link. And you go away with £11,800. What are you going to do with the money?
I'm going to donate it to the Medical Foundation for the Care of Victims of Torture.
Susie, you leave with nothing. Join us again for the weakest link. Goodbye.
Usually the gentleman lets the lady go first, and if he had let me go first, I knew all of his answers and none of mine.
I feel very, very happy because I promised my mum I wouldn't get knocked out in the first round, and I didn't. And she's going to be so made up when she sees that I won.